What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Today, what I want to go ahead and talk about is the latest press conference from our new general manager, Monti Ossenfort. Let's dive right into it, everybody. My top things that I took away from the latest press conference. Alright everybody, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, today what I want to specifically talk about is the latest press conference from our new general manager, Monti Ossenfort. Now, before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We're on the road to 12K, ladies and gentlemen. Follow me on all my social platforms. There will be a link in the description below. Alright everybody, let's dive right into it here. Let's talk about the latest press conference here from Monti Ossenfort. Now, let me just speak here for a lot of the Arizona Cardinal fans. I know this move came as a complete surprise, right? A lot of people were probably trying to go for a different GM, and this name really wasn't a name that is very much known. But honestly, I think sometimes that might be best, right? I think it might be best for us to bring a general manager that has not been a general manager before, because he wants to fight for that position, right? He wants to prove his worth. So honestly, I'm excited about Monti Ossenfort and what he can actually do for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward. But some of the big things that I took away from this latest press conference was, I think one of the biggest things out there is that he said that he's trying to bring the right people in, right? The right players into this locker room. Now, that is very important there. He also did say that there will be no egos tolerated. Now, that right there, obviously, a lot of Cardinal fans felt like that was a shot towards Kyler Murray. To me, I just think it's very, refreshing to hear that, we want to make sure that we get the right people in this locker room, and that's number one key in importance, right? You don't want somebody to break apart this locker room because of their, selfishness or their ego or anything like that. So I think that was a very, very important, kind of take that he ended up saying out there. There was a question that was asked, like if you can kind of re-clarify pertaining to what he meant by that. And basically it's what he said, right? No egos. We want to make sure that everybody is playing for the same team. We want to get winners within this locker room. We want to find the right players that are going to be able to build a consistent future for this organization. Now, another thing that I kind of took away from this as well is that he said that he's going to be working hand in hand with the coaching department. Now, what the heck, right? Like, that to me seems to be an obviously no-brainer, right? That should be something that already should have been implemented. Now, I get it, right? There might have been a disconnect between our past regime, right, with Cliff and Keim. To me, I think it's very important that they do communicate with each other, right? Because you need to bring the right personnel for the defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, and the head coach, right? We need to make sure we bring the right players to fit their system, to fit their scheme, or whatever we have, right? So I think that was actually another important point that he mentioned out there, that he is going to work very closely with the coaching staff to bring the right players into this organization. To me, that was cherry kiss to me. That was absolutely really, really great, and I'm actually very excited about that. Now, another point that was mentioned as well is being that Vance Joseph has an interview sometime during this week, and I get it. There's a lot of fans out there that do not want Vance Joseph to be the next head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. I'm kind of on that same boat as well. This new regime, I feel like we would take a step and then take a step right back, because we're kind of continuing to bring that same culture that was here before. Now, I get it. There was a report out there that said that Vance Joseph is very highly respected within the building, but I don't know, right? I'm not sure. I'm not saying I don't believe that report, but I think it's time for something new. I think it's time for new eyes, a new vision, a new head coach. Now, I hope the best for Vance Joseph. If he does remain the head coach, or I'm sorry, if he remains the defensive coordinator, then I guess we'll kind of figure it out from there. But I think the head coach for me needs to be somebody else that's, kind of comes from the outside, almost like a Monti Ossenfort, right? So I'm excited about what he's been saying in these press conferences so far. Another thing that I want to go ahead and mention is that accountability was a big thing that he talked about as well. Man, I don't know how many times I said the word accountability in this last season. It was very obvious that this Arizona Cardinal organization did not have accountability at all. The players can do whatever the heck they wanted. It was the wild, wild west, it seemed like it, right? Now, these players, obviously, they worked their butts off to get to the level that they are, right? But sometimes players need to be reminded of, hey, this is what you need to do. If this is what you don't do, this is what happens, right? The cause and effect pertaining to what you need to do moving forward. And if you're not doing it, we need to get the right person to do that job. And I think with the whole accountability thing, that really made me excited, honestly. Like, I know it's just a word. I know it's something that we would rather see as opposed to just talking, right? But I think that right there is the number one thing, the biggest takeaway that I took away from this press conference, that, accountability needs to be key, right? Working well with the head coaching, working together with the front office and the coaching together. I think it's absolutely key that accountability was mentioned, because Michael Bidwill did say that he spoke to some leaders within the locker room, and probably that might have been one of the biggest words that they said out there, right? That people aren't putting their best foot forward, right? People aren't putting their full 100%, or they just don't feel like there's going to be any repercussions if they don't do it right. So that was huge to me. There was also mentions of DeAndre Hopkins' future. Now, they did kind of deflect that question. I personally do not disagree with them doing that, right? Because it's kind of up in the air right now. We don't know what's going to happen with DeAndre Hopkins. Like, let's be honest here. We don't know what's going to happen with him. Now, we all know that he's got a no trade clause, right? So this trade can't be initiated by the Arizona Cardinals. If DeAndre Hopkins does get traded, this is going to be because DeAndre Hopkins wants to leave the Arizona Cardinals. So I don't want to hear anybody blaming Monti Ossenfort if he does decide to, deal him to another team. This has been a rumor that's been happening for weeks on weeks now. So if this were to truly happen, then honestly, best of luck to DeAndre Hopkins. I just hope we can get some really good draft capital from DeAndre Hopkins. Kyler Murray was also mentioned as well. Nothing too much pertaining to really talk about, so we're going to kind of skip that. One last thing that I want to mention is the fact that they said that they want to bring a stable, for the future type of team. Not a band-aid fix, but something that we can build to start winning some NFC West championships. And man, that right there got me super excited, because let's be honest, the Arizona Cardinals, for the last 7 years, right? We've won the NFC West once, and that was in 2015. But other than that, we just haven't been able to be as a consistent team as the Rams, as the 49ers, as the Seattle Seahawks. So I think it's time to turn the page. Now, Monti Ossenfort does come from a background that is very, Patriots heavy, as well as, Tennessee Titans heavy as well. So honestly, coming from a winning organization, and I'm talking about the New England Patriots, that actually does get me pumped up, right? To see how this, New England Patriot way is going to be. But obviously, he's going to, take his own spin on it and make it the Cardinal way, which that's absolutely something I'm very excited about, and seeing what the future is going to look like for this Arizona Cardinals organization moving forward. He's got one of the biggest tests coming up, and it's happening very, very fast within the next month and a half, because we got our unrestricted free agents that, are we going to sign back? Are we not going to sign back? We got free agency, and then we got the draft. So I know right now there's a lot of people not excited about this, signing from Monti Ossenfort. I'm just going to go out and say this. Let's give the opportunity to this guy to see if he can be able to fix the Arizona Cardinals, and we got some really, really big tests coming his way. So let's see how he handles it. And then from there, we can go ahead and make our opinion about Monti Ossenfort. But as of right now, I'm excited about the signing. Let's see what this new era is going to look like. Let me know in the comments below, ladies and gentlemen, how are you feeling about Monti Ossenfort being the new general manager of the Arizona Cardinals? As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cards.